didn't even know that Rolling Stone magazine, I didn't even know there was more than one.
I always thought it was just a magazine.
Just Rolling Stone magazine.
Which came first? The band?
The Muddy Waters song.
The Muddy Waters song?
Yeah.
Which leads us to talk about the band that has influenced more dad rock bands than any other band in the history of rock and roll.
I don't even know if that's true, man.
No, what I'm saying is every dad rock band, like actual dads that get together and play music with other dads, they always fucking play the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Always. It's like required. If you're and then they start smiling and looking at each other and grooving, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I'm in fucking high school again."
There's a dude whose beer gut has his guitar sticking out up too high.
There's an Instagram called Dad Rigs or Rigs of Dad.
What?
I think is what it's called.
Why told me this shit?
I'll share it with you. It's really fucking funny. But all it is it's just rigs, guitar rigs or whatever of dad rock bands. Always in the most ridiculous pictures. But every time I feel like I look at that and I go, I guarantee these dudes just play fucking Rolling Stones songs all day. Because it's what everyone does. Because the Rolling Stones are so fucking old.
It bothers me how old they are.
You think they have Blood Boys? I bet you they have Blood Boys.
I don't know what that means. Oh, like Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
Literally, yeah. Keith Richards started that rumor that he gets blood transfusions or whatever. He started
his own rumor based on the truth.
If you add the ages of the members of this band together, it's almost 300 years.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
It's honestly disturbing to me that these guys are still touring. It fully freaks me out.
Sure.
I get uncomfortable when I think about it.
Well,
dude, that's someone's fucking grandfather.
Because you realize that if they were to fall off the stage, they would hit the ground. If they tripped and fell, it would just be a dust pile on the ground, and that would be the end of it.
It's so dangerous.
Somebody could break a hip.
For sure.
Do you think they actually still play? I feel like they just play the tracks. I mean, they probably still play. But I wouldn't be shocked.
I mean, I know a lot of music journalists who still freak out when they tour and go see them, and I can't imagine that they would sit there and not know.
There's a music journalist that we
tracks.
both know that is probably not going to like our podcast at all.
I don't care.
I don't care either. I'm just saying.
Mick Jagger is 74, and his latest child was born in 2016. That is so gross. Imagine your dad being 84 when you're 10.
How does that work?
Dude, I don't know.
I mean, does his dick still produce?
I don't know. I hope that kid's going to be okay.
Yeah,
like chromosomally.
That's just science. That's not even we're not talking like shit here. That's just real science.
Seems like a not good idea.
That seems like a genuinely bad idea.
I remember when I was a kid, Sylvester Stallone's dad got his girlfriend pregnant.
Yeah.
And he was real old and all the tabloids freaked out about it.
Yeah.
I remember reading that in the grocery store lines. I don't know whatever happened to that kid. Hope he turned out okay.
I didn't look it up. We should look at it. Does he have other kids?
Oh, yeah.
All
these guys have kids.
So does he? Okay, so it's possible that he has a grandkid the same age or older than his own child.
Oh, dude, I bet, man. I bet. We might have stumbled on the reason why the band still tours. Maybe all these grandkids are like, "Hey, granddad, you should get out there and tour again," hoping like a fucking light will fall on one of them. He'll die, and there comes that inheritance.
This got
Maybe
dark.
that's why they keep touring.
This got dark real fast.
I don't give a shit.
That was dark. That was dark. You're saying that the grandkids
I'm here to do work
want
today.
Grandpa to turn into dust.
I'm going in on this
to
band.
fall off the stage so he could break his hip.
This is a sacred cow, and it's dying today.
This is sacred cow. Oh my God, how can you guys not like the Rolling Stones? I feel like that's all we're going to hear from this episode.
I like it when you do voices. Yeah, I don't know if Valley Girls really.
Oh my God, yeah. I grew up listening to the Rolling Stones. It's, oh my God, my dad loves this band, and
Cher from Clueless is pissed at us.
well.
When he was young, Keith Richards is supposed to have said, "If I'm still singing Satisfaction when I'm 40, I'm going to kill myself."
Ooh.
Bro.
You're way past that. You're doubling that almost. You're pushing double that, and you're still playing that song.
Yeah, if nothing else, let this band be a lesson to you. Don't say stupid shit. Like, try to minimize the stupid shit you say when you're young. You're gonna say stupid shit. We all say stupid shit when we're young. Don't promise you're gonna kill yourself or anything.
Yeah.
Because that's dumb. That's dumb.
Yeah. And it's also not true. I mean, you're not going to kill yourself if you're still playing this song.
Well, I mean,
obviously
you could
he didn't.
argue that he fucking tried real hard to die for a long time there in the middle.
That's true. He did live a extensively bad lifestyle for a while.
Trigger warning.
Which we don't.
We're going to talk about drugs today. We're going to talk about heroin.
Don't do drugs.
I guess we're probably going to talk about rumors that a band sacrificed one of their members in a satanic ritual in order to become more famous. Yeah,
I hope it's true.
We're going to get shitty.
Yeah,
on the Rolling
I don't even
Stones.
believe in Satan, but I hope that it's true because it'd just be awesome.
Well, Mick Jagger is the devil, dude.
Whoa, I had no idea. Maybe that makes sense why he's having kids at 100 years old or whatever he is.
I don't know if you're smart enough to guess his name.
Did
or
Jesus co-write these songs with them? Like, I mean, was that a thing? Like, there were fucking dinosaurs around back when they recorded this shit?
Cavemen.
Oh, my God.
I
Anyways.
think the guy who invented the wheel actually has royalties.
We've covered this. They're old.
I'm not
Inspiring dad rock everywhere.
Okay. Here's one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things is when a person is in a band like this and they get their ass kissed for so long that they just live in this world where they feel so respected.
Yeah.
And so then they go to other artists who are actually great and
Think that they're equals or something?
yeah, they expect to be treated as a peer and just get shut the fuck down. So, okay, everyone knows who MC Escher is, draws the optical illusion things. Great artist, great artist. I just sound like Donald Trump.
Tremendous.
Beautiful
Tremendous
stuff.
art. Beautiful.
Beautiful stuff. This episode sounds like we're high. And for the record, we are
I'm
not
not.
high.
I wish I was.
This is just so funny. Like, I'm really going to have a good time talking about this band. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mick Jagger writes MC Escher a letter asking him to do artwork for a Rolling Stones album cover.
Yeah.
Mick addresses Escher by his first name, which is like Moritz. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's not English.
First name, which is rude.
Yeah.
Especially because he doesn't go by that.
If he signs this shit MC Escher, maybe call him Sir MC. I don't know. Okay, so not only did Escher tell him no, he told Mick Jagger not to address him by his first name, like in the response. He's like, no, I will not do artwork for you.
Yeah.
By the way, it's Mr. Escher to you.
And this is like mailing letters at the time, right? Snail mail,
It's getting
handwriting.
owned weeks after the fact. Like,
Right.
You're just waiting to get
so,
owned.
So said, open this letter.
He'll probably get where I'm coming from this time.
Yeah.
So Jagger writes him back to ask if they can just use a piece that Escher has already made. You know, like, you don't even have to make us something. Can we just use something you've already done? And he even like says an example. Escher's like, no.
Just says no.
No.
Do you think it was like a slight because he called him?
I think he probably would have
by
said
his
no
first name.
anyways.
Because he thought the Rolling Stones sucked?
I don't know if MC Escher is even into music.
Right.
Dude, you know, like this.
Certainly not. Edgy boy band, rock and roll band, whatever they were.
MC Escher is a fucking legendary artist. The dude can did things that never had been done before. You know, he basically flew. Like, that's the closest humans can come to flying in the air, is just creating shit that did not exist before you were born.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
Yeah.
And then you've got weird, skinny white kid whose lips are way too fucking big for his face,
Big mouth white kid.
asking you for some shit that you do.
Yeah.
Hey, can you lend your artistic credibility to our bullshit real fast? I'm going to go with no.
Yeah, that's fair. I actually respect Escher even more for that.
I mean, I probably should check his Wikipedia page before this goes out to make sure he isn't like a hardcore racist or something, but I can't imagine why would you not have respect for MC Escher?
right.
Like,
At least as an artist. We're not saying he was a good person. Don't know.
I'm going
I don't
on
know enough
record
about him.
right now, dude.
I'm not an art critic.
Doubling down. MC Escher was a great guy.
Whoa.
I stand by everything he ever said.
Holy shit.
And I'm going to go look him up on Wikipedia.
Wow.
Because I don't have morals. And if he said something fucked up, I'm
Yeah.
going to cut this out of this episode.
That's so fucked up, though.
I can do
so
that.
people may not even hear what you're saying right now. They may not even know that you said this.
I can just do that, though.
That's so fucked up, dude.
Okay, Mick Jagger's probably been punched by every member of this band at some point for being an asshole. He's such a dick that the rest of the Rolling Stones came up with the nickname Brenda for him so they could talk shit about him with him in the room and he wouldn't even know.
That sucks. What a dickhead. Do you think he caught on at any point?
I don't know.
He had to have. Unless he was such a fucking dickhead or a narcissist or whatever. Although if he was a super narcissist, I would have think he'd figured it out pretty quick.
He is for sure a super
That he would have,
narcissist.
well, you know, having a kid when you're 100 fucking years old or whatever is pretty shitty and self-absorbed. But anyways, can you imagine being that shitty of a person that your friends have a nickname for you? Like,
Hey, my friends probably do have a nickname for me so they can talk about
your
me
friend,
whenever they-
well, they do actually. I don't know if I should tell you what it is, but
Okay.
Well, dude, but the Rolling Stones were a counterculture rock band.
Oh, I'll get to that.
It's counterculture. Like
Everyone kind of accepts that
Mick is rebellious.
Everyone kind of accepts that Mick Jagger's an asshole, and they think that Keith Richards is this cool old motherfucker. He's so badass. He's the pinnacle of style. He's fucking not the pinnacle of style. If you've ever wondered why Johnny Depp is wearing too many scarves, thank you, Keith Richards. Keith Richards is an asshole too. You would be pissed off if this dude was your grandfather. Here, Keith Richards called Black Sabbath a joke.
Yeah, that was one of those things that we had talked about, and I looked it up, and it just triggered me so hard.
I will fight him.
I was hashtag triggered by that. Did he go on to say why? Like, what was the reasoning for that? Or do you think it was just a jealousy in that
I don't
Rolling
think it was
Stones,
jealousy.
well, no, in that, like, the Rolling Stones were like tryhards. They wanted to have the bad boy image, and they were genuinely trying to have the bad boy. Oh, it was recently.
I think it was like in the past 10 or 15 years that he said
then
this,
what
probably.
the fuck is he? Why?
I don't know, man. I do not know.
Some weird attempt to stay relevant or something?
I don't know how it even got brought up. Like, I don't even know why Keith Richards is talking about Black Sabbath, let alone calling them a joke.
Oh, my God. That's just painful.
But then here's the other thing. Here's this quote that I found, Keith Richards talking about rap. Quote, "What rap did that was impressive was to show that there are so many tone-deaf people out there." End quote. Bro, way to dump on a fucking culture that is the only reason anyone's listening to anything this guy has to say.
Yeah, that's some brutal shit. But my God, if he said it recently, was he like 92 or something when he said it? Even if it was 20 years ago, he's still in his 50s.
It's so tone deaf though, because I mean, once we start talking about their music, we're going to get into it. They just fucking lifted blues music, like they just jacked music from black people, and so then here he is talking about rap as if it's bullshit. And I'm not saying that like if you're black you have to love rap, or if you're black you automatically love rap, or you should defend it. I mean, I guarantee you there are black people who fucking despise rap.
Sure,
that's fine.
Sure,
but this dude is lobbing Molotov cocktails over a wall between his culture, a white British dude, and black Americans.
Sure.
And that's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
When he stole so much from them.
You think he just got like old and senile and like angry?
I think he's always been this way.
This is it. This is the actual thing.
Fuck, and it's super obnoxious, man.
Cocky without a reason to be cocky.
I mean, there are stories of this skinny kid pulling knives on people and shit.
So stupid.
Sir, you need to calm the fuck down before someone handles your shit for you.
Breaks you in half.
There's just this obsession with being tough, like that song Street Fighting Man. That's not tough. That song does not sound tough.
Dude.
It's not badass. It's just like posturing as fuck.
Exactly. Truly tough people don't have to talk about being tough.
For sure.
You don't worry about the guy or the girl that's like, I'm gonna beat your ass, like getting all puffy. You worry about the quiet one.
Yeah.
Those people, those are the tough ones. The ones that don't say anything, they just look at you like they're gonna kill you. Those are the ones you fucking worry about.
The people who talk about how tough they are
not tough.
They're
exactly.
insecure. Okay, and then Keith Richards' dad was cremated. Keith's sitting there doing blow, looks over, sees the urn, mixes some of the ashes up with his blow and snorts it, and people think he's a rock star for doing that.
Yeah.
No.
What's rock star about snorting your father's remains?
Okay, he later said that he was joking, but who fucking knows? Like, there are tons
He's probably saying he was joking because it's so gross he didn't want to admit that it actually happened.
It is
so fucking gnarly.
Weird. And it's trashy as shit, man. Like, if you forget that it's Keith Richards, okay?
Yeah.
Remove that. There's a trailer park a mile away from your house. Some dude lives in that trailer park. His mom or his dad died recently, and he's doing a bunch of blow to get over it, and he's got the urn right there. This dude in this trailer park mixes some of those ashes in with his blow, and right up the nose it goes.
Good God.
How do you feel about that?
I feel bad
Is that
about
a
it.
rock star move?
No.
No, it's fucking disturbing. It's not okay.
It's disturbing for sure.
But someone needs to call someone.
It would be a good story if this was like a Norwegian black metal band or something like that. Like, it'd be like,
board.
oh fuck, like holy shit, this dude's like, this is some crazy shit. But not the Rolling Stones. And obviously this is just done in some sort of desperation, either for attention or if he was so fucked up on drugs that he did some. You're not an edgy band.
If he is joking,
joke.
what the fuck are you doing?
Exactly.
Why this, dude? Why do you need to tell people that you did that? Why is that the thing that you come up with? What kind of edible bullshit is that?
There's what if he snorted his dad's dick?
There's not. We cannot even talk about how bad of a father Keith Richards was when he was a junkie, because right now I'm having a lot of fun in this conversation, but I will kick over to legit anger so fast.
Yeah.
He was a terrible fucking parent. Google like Keith Richards bad father if you want to not like this band anymore.
And we want to talk about the shittiness.
Let's get into the music.
Let's talk about the music. I was reading some stuff, but one of the things that one of the things that came
Little
up,
Stephanie Myers,
was people debating who was better, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. It's such a fucking common thing.
Okay, here's why that question is stupid, because the only correct answer is the Kinks.
Right.
They're just the better band. They're so much better than both bands.
Sure.
Fucking never fell off.
I literally was reading all these back and forths that people were having where they were like comparing the two or whatever, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so fucking painful to read.
Yeah. Let's get into the music, which is something not even the Rolling Stones want to do, because they've only released 2 albums of new material in the past 20 years.
Yep.
These guys make Tool look prolific.
Yeah. True.
And one of those 2 albums is nothing but cover songs, by the way.
Which one? A Bigger Bang?
Yeah, like I know what these things are called.
A Bigger Bang or Blue and Lonesome? I saw them on the Bridges to Babylon tour.
Why?
Whoa, that reminds me. I have another reason why I don't like the Rolling Stones. Because I had to see them. I don't know why I went. It was free and went to a show. But I was subjected to the Spin Doctors. Thanks to them, because the Spin Doctors opened for the Rolling fucking Stones.
I forgot about that band.
I had to watch the entire
That's
set.
the band that's like, if you wanna call me maybe.
Is it? I don't know. I don't remember what song that. No, that isn't. Is it the Spin Doctors? Maybe it is.
Isn't their song called Two Princes, and isn't that the song that I just did?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. The whole thing sucked, beginning to end. The thing I remember most is being subjected to the Spin Doctors and how bummed I was about that.
That is a bummer.
And I held it against the Rolling Stones for taking them out on tour, and whatever.
I mean, I remember watching MTV when that came out and seeing them on TV and just being like, "Oh, that's weird. Those guys are too old."
Did you?
Then
they have in what year?
Whenever you're talking about it. I remember that coming
97.
out. I remember being a kid watching MTV. I remember them doing a satellite feed into an MTV award show, and they were like drinking. I was like, holy shit, those guys are old to be drinking like that.
Well, that was 20 years ago. So they were in their 50s. They were old as fuck. Of course you thought they were old.
And that album sucked.
Oh my God.
I remember being a kid and being like, this sucks.
The thing about the Rolling Stones music too is if you look through the studio albums, which is there's about 300 of them.
Yeah, there's too many for us to do it individually.
You couldn't even do it. It would take, we could do 20 episodes.
We could start a whole new podcast where we just do a Rolling Stones album every week.
Yes, and it would be a 5-year podcast and we'd die before we finished
Especially if we got into bootlegs.
Yeah.
When Rolling Stone magazine asked Ginger Baker, the drummer of Cream, a good band.
Yeah.
And they asked Ginger in 2013 if he'd been to a Rolling Stones gig, and he thought they were literally joking because the band is such bad musicians.
Yeah. They rode the British invasion thing. Like basically how many bands, including the Beatles, wouldn't exist without that solidifying moment or
that movement, the British invasion?
Right. Would the Rolling Stones have ever existed to the level that they do?
Okay, well, here's the thing. We went in on the Beatles on our first episode, so anyone can go back and listen to that for more about this, but that's the same bullshit here as was there, which is all the people saying how influential this band is, how many people started bands because of this band. Fucking pay attention to me. The British invasion was nothing original. Every band in that movement was influenced by American music.
Yeah.
They took our shit and sold it back to us.
Do people think that it was? I guess it probably is a relatively common belief that it was just organic.
There's like a feeling of otherness. There's an attractiveness to something being other. Oh, I think accents are so sexy.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I met this guy who had an Australian accent.
It's different. Right.
It seems exotic. It's like, hey, asshole, your next door neighbor was doing that 10 years ago. Literally 10 years ago, your next door neighbor was doing this. You are now listening to a bullshit version of it.
But it's different. It has these really cool accents and these shitty haircuts, and it's just fucking blues music sold back to you with an accent.
Here's the reason why people think this band is the definition of cool. One of the Beatles' first publicists, which again, go back and listen to the Beatles episode if you want to hear how that all happened. One of the Beatles' first publicists got hooked up with the Stones in 1963, and he set them up as the anti-Beatles, which is why every conversation you've had for the past 50 years
is who's better.
Yes, which one is better,
right,
is because this was a deliberately manufactured thing.
By design.
One of the guys who made the Beatles what they are and were at the time decided to do the opposite with this band. He had them let their hair grow out too long and be shitty looking, had them dress fucked up, like weird clothes, look like a street person would wear, and use working class accents that wasn't even the way they really talked, which that's a huge thing in England, is your accent, right, letting people know how upper or middle or lower class you are. And it's a gimmick to make them seem dangerous and threatening, aka more cool than the safe Beatles with their cute little matching suits and haircuts.
Yep.
Everything's tidy and sweet with the Beatles, and these guys are the bad boys and the rebels, which is why every guy and girl that you meet who fucking loves the Rolling Stones thinks they're so cool.
Yeah.
Or thinks they're like...
They're bad boys
they're
or
rock.
they're bad girls.
They just rock harder. They're better.
Yeah,
they fucking don't.
I bought this distressed shirt at Urban Outfitters. It's so awesome. Like pre-distressed.
The Beatles song Helter Skelter rocks harder than anything the Rolling Stones ever did.
Yeah. Bad boy Beatles can't even hold a candle to the actual Beatles, and that's really saying something.
So it's all marketing. Okay, so that guy does this with them.
So people eat the marketing up.
Here's what he does next. He takes them to Decca Records, and Decca feels like a bunch of dumbasses because they passed on the Beatles. So when this guy, who was instrumental in the Beatles' success, comes by with a new band, they're like, well, yeah, fuck, of course we're going to sign this band. We're not going to pass on the Beatles again. So now you've got the rival band. And there's nothing better for publicity than a good old-fashioned rivalry.
Yes, everyone loves the verses. Good versus bad.
There are people who still buy into this rivalry, who think it was legit, and, they take sides in it. It was never legit. The people in these bands were always friendly. Like, some of the first songs that Mick Jagger and Keith Richards wrote together were then recorded by the Beatles. Like, They were all nice.
It was clickbait before clickbait was a thing, basically.
I mean, it's just really good marketing.
Right.
Really good marketing.
Yeah.
But that's
These people were way ahead of their time as far as marketing goes, actually, in that way. It's actually really...
I don't know about that.
Well, I'm saying, I don't know. I think it's interesting that they were smart enough to know that if they created this story or this idea, good boys, bad boys, and whatever, I think that's actually really interesting.
I think marketing has been active in society for thousands of years.
We all feel like we're immune to it. I think that's the thing. Maybe even if people hear this, and I guarantee you people are going to listen to this and not believe us.
Go fucking look it up.
Yeah, I mean, I know. But I feel like nobody wants to believe they're susceptible to...
I am.
To marketing. Everyone is. Yes, of course. It's unavoidable.
They don't understand what's happening to them. They don't understand what's being done to them.
It drives the story so hard, though, to the point where these bands are oftentimes on people's like top 5 greatest bands of all time lists. It's almost unavoidable, even though all it was a giant marketing thing where they just legitimately stole music from other people.
Yeah, that's what people would want to say is like, if you guys aren't going to talk about the music, that's bullshit, because that's what's good. The marketing was just there to get you to the music. Okay. No. At the beginning, literally all they were capable of doing was playing blues covers. That's all they did. They covered blues songs by American artists. And the only reason they started writing their own songs is because their fucking manager told them they weren't going to make any money, because all they were doing was putting money in the pockets of the people who deserved it, the people who made the music that they were covering. If you want royalties, you have to write the songs. So he literally, I think, locks them in a kitchen, forces them to start writing their own songs. And obviously, what they're going to do at that point is take the shit that they know how to play from playing blues covers, change like 3 notes, and then write lyrics to it.
Yeah.
Their early original compositions are trash. Just trash.
So many people are just like, fuck you right now. You're saying that. I mean, I know it's funny. They shared admiration for Jimmy Reed, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, and Little Walter.
All great. Great.
What does shared admiration mean, though?
They all agreed this is better than anything we could ever do.
Right. We're going to steal all this.
All of those artists that you just mentioned are amazing. If you haven't heard that shit, please go listen to that. It's just clearly better. What happened to anyone in this band that they get the blues?
You mean like on a deeper level than just acknowledging how it's played?
That gets into an authenticity thing.
Sure.
You brought up the British Invasion,
right,
which people will say all those bands were influenced by the blues.
Sure.
Yes, agree. Hard agree. influenced by.
Yeah.
You take Cream, you take Led Zeppelin, you take the Yardbirds. These are all fantastic bands. None of them ever tried to pass themselves off as a blues band.
Yeah.
These are rock bands, rock and roll bands. You could even call Zeppelin a proto-metal band if you wanted to. They did take blues music, and in Zeppelin's case, just stole. Like, this is ours now. They just jacked it, weren't going to give any credit to the people who wrote it.
You made
That's
this?
fucked up.
I made this.
I'm on board with you saying that's fucked up. However, what they did with it was different and phenomenal. The Rolling Stones just tried to pass themselves off as some kind of legit blues act.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, you're not.
If they took those sounds and did something different with it at the and I'm talking about their early career now. If they added something to it, I might feel differently about it. I don't know.
Sure.
But in this timeline,
that did not happen.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Right.
It's like a lame British Empire attempt to lay claim to American music.
Yeah. But it worked, dude. It worked.
This is not about white people playing quote unquote black people music. That is not what I'm saying. Booker T and the MGs were the house band at Stax Records. Those dudes are fucking awesome. They are on some of the best soul recordings you will ever hear. Shit that will never be topped. White guys, okay? That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is if you're gonna try to cross a cultural divide like that, you need to be fucking good.
Right.
Are you Vanilla Ice or are you Eminem?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good analogy.
That's the difference.
That's a really good comparison.
That's what I'm talking about.
That makes sense.
So, I feel like I'm just ranting. Do you have...
You are
something-
ranting.
Do you have
No,
anything?
I'm listening. I'm listening to you rant. Is that entertaining?
I have thought about this for
Obviously.
years, dude. Like,
Yes.
I have been
It's
thinking
very
about
obvious.
this band for a
Yes,
long time.
we've opened a can of worms here. I did not realize existed.
Okay, so think about... You talked about...
This podcast is going to be 3 hours long.
It's this, Tyler doesn't like the Rolling Stones.
Tyler really hates Rolling Stones. I do too. But
You talked about all the dad rock bands, like
Yeah.
the dads who get together in their garage. They're not trying to do anything. They would never even play a show. Okay, go one step beyond that. Think about how many bad cover versions of Rolling Stones songs you've heard. Think about all the times you've been drinking in a bar and some random cover band or a casino. Like if you're in a casino, cover bands are the fucking worst. If you're in a casino cover band, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And they just start playing a Rolling Stones song and you're like, oh, here we fucking go.
100% of the time.
Here we fucking go with this shit again.
100% of the time.
Is it ever good?
No.
It's never good, right?
It's impossible for it to
never
be good.
They're playing those songs perfectly.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's not. They're not. It's not because they're bad players. They're tight. They could be the best cover band on earth.
That's what that shit sounds like when you separate it from your idea of how cool you think Mick Jagger and Keith Richards are.
Yes. The music doesn't hold up outside of the image.
And it's just incredibly obnoxious to see the Rolling Stones go down in history as inventing things that they did not invent. I don't like seeing people called innovators when they're not. So here's a sentence I found while researching this episode that pretty much sums up what I'm saying. Mick Jagger developed techniques previously used by African American preachers and gospel singers. Do you hear the problem in that?
Yes.
He developed techniques previously used by African American preachers and gospel singers. If these techniques were previously used by black people, Mick Jagger didn't develop shit.
Right. He stole it. Hijacked. Period.
I think we kind of have to talk about Brian Jones here.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Brian Jones. I have always heard Rolling Stones fans, or not even Rolling Stones fans, I've heard musical elitists, I guess you would call them, kind of like dudes who work in record stores and ladies who are, you know, assholes about what other people like you and me.
Right.
Say, I don't like anything the Stones did after Brian Jones wasn't in the band anymore. To me, that always sounded like one of those, I like their early stuff things, or, you know, I like their first album and after that they sucked. Basically just a version of, I don't like popular things. I like them before they're cool, and I knew about it before it was cool, and I'm cooler than you.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised by some of the shit I found when I looked up, just like the timeline of how these songs came out and when. First of all, I was surprised by how many of Rolling Stone songs that we all know were not even actual hits. Like, You Can't Always Get What You Want, Street Fightin' Man, and Let's Spend the Night Together. Those are insanely popular songs, right?
Annoyingly.
You know every one of those songs, right?
Of course.
They were not even top 40 hits.
Yeah.
They weren't even top 40. That's fucking weird.
Yeah. At the time, they had no...
This band has 8 number 1 songs. That is it. 8.
That's insane.
That's all, man. The Beatles have 20 number 1 songs, and they broke up in 1970.
Right. The Rolling Stones did not break up. Still play music.
That's wild.
I mean, that's pretty terrible if you think about how many songs they've done.
Probably
Guessing
hundreds.
300?
Probably hundreds.
Like, realistically.
But then, and that's another thing, even people who like this band, this band has put out albums that fans, they're just like, oh yeah, don't listen to that one. It's really bad.
Yeah.
They're all bad.
Yeah.
Okay, but Brian Jones really was in this band when they put out most of the songs that everyone knows.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff they put out after he wasn't in this band anymore, no one's like, oh, you've got to listen to this one song. They're like, yeah, have you heard this album? Like the whole album is the thing.
Right.
There are no singles. There are no hits on anything. I mean, few hits after Brian Jones, but it's mostly just that dude. And he's the guy who started this band. He's the guy who named this band. He did everything. He was on the phone. He got them their show. They asked what the band name was, and there was a copy of the Muddy Waters song right there. That's how the band name came about. Like Brian Jones picked the band members. Like he hired these guys for this band basically, picked the songs they were gonna do, chose the blues covers, just everything. And then after they stopped doing the covers and they started doing original music, he didn't like the band anymore.
Yeah.
He was like, this is not good. This isn't fun. I don't like this. And he starts playing as many different instruments as he can besides guitar just to try to stay interested in this bullshit. That's why there's a sitar on Paint It Black and Street Fighting Man. That's why there's an organ on Let's Spend the Night Together. It's why there's fucking marimba on Under My Thumb.
Because he's bored.
Yeah, Brian Jones is just trying to stay interested in this band.
Right.
So if you like these songs, you probably like what Brian Jones was doing in these songs, and you're listening to the sound of what I would call a legitimate part of the creative process, which is trying to stay interested in something, as opposed to everyone else in the band who's just phoning it the fuck in.
Right. He died in 1969 too.
Well, that's the whole thing too, man.
And the band just kept on going.
He was kicked out of the band.
Yeah.
It's not like he just died and the band kept going. They were
Right.
dicks to him. Keith Richards stole Brian Jones' girlfriend.
Oh, man.
That's a dick move, okay? If you think Keith Richards is cool for doing that, fuck you. You're a piece of shit.
It's not rock and roll.
I hope you don't have any friends. So then a couple years after Keith Richards steals Brian Jones' girlfriend, they just straight up kick him out of the band because he's doing too many drugs. He's too fucked up on drugs, so they kick him out of the band. Hey, Mark, do you remember that time that Keith Richards got kicked out of the Rolling Stones? I don't, because it never fucking happened.
because he's still playing.
Yeah. What the fuck? How hypocritical do you have to be?
I think it's probably it's the jealousy of the fact that this dude was like doing so much and they wanted to be the hot shots, so they booted him.
There are some people who legit think that they sacrificed him to the devil to stay popular.
If anybody is listening to this and you know if that's true or not, please, I want to hear the story.
If you know how to do satanic sacrifices to make shit happen, call me.
Yes. There's a couple things that we would like to talk to you about.
A month after they kicked Brian Jones out of the band, he's fucking dead.
Oh, you're saying you hypothetically believe that he possibly died because he was kicked out of the band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're one of the Rolling Stones fans who thinks that the stuff after Brian Jones is gone is the best, you're out of your goddamn mind. Because the rest of this discography, there's so much filler, just dreadful songs. You cannot listen to this band without a greatest hits collection.
Right.
But please don't get the wrong idea, because I don't think that there was ever any integrity in this band, even when Brian Jones was running the show. 'Cause they still tried to make a psychedelic rock album.
Yeah. I wonder if it would just be too much. I was going to say we should go through some of the records, but
I really would not enjoy that.
And no, I was first of all, there's so many. It really would take us so long. But the other part of it would just not be enjoyable. I wouldn't even be entertaining. I would be bored.
At some point, they went on to make some of the worst disco.
That's all you need to say.
It's so bad. I mean, and as an ex-country musician, I find their attempts at using sounds of country music just extremely offensive.
Yeah.
There's one song called Faraway Eyes. It is one of the worst things I've ever listened to. It makes me violently angry to hear it.
You sent it to me, and I listened to about a minute of it and had anxiety and shut it off.
It is so
I don't even like country music.
It is offensive, man.
Yeah.
It is so offensive. You know what? It's so offensive, I can't imagine how blues artists feel about this band.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be the same thing for them.
Right.
I know exactly what
right.
it's like for these British assholes to jump into a culture that I've spent a lot of time in and try to jack something from it.
Right.
So it's got to be so much worse when the only reason anyone even cares about this band is because of what they did with blues music. I can't imagine how blues artists feel about this band.
Yeah.
And like their version of Wild Horses, which doesn't even really sound like country music, if you like that song, if you like Wild Horses, go listen to Graham Parsons sing it with the Flying Burrito Brothers. It will fuck your whole life up.
Yeah.
You will never be the same because that's the difference between bullshit and the real deal.
Yeah. Will Rolling Stones fans who are similar to other fans we've talked about on the show acknowledge that, though? That's the question. I feel like they probably wouldn't. I feel like they'd be like, no, the Rolling Stones version is better.
I feel like diehard Rolling Stones fans don't even know.
They took blues and made it better.
I feel like they don't even know that, though. I think these are the same people who think that the Black Crowes cover of Hard to Handle is the song. They have no idea that it's an Otis Redding song.
Yeah.
Or if they do know that, they think it's like a trivia night piece of knowledge. Like, hey, did you know that Hard to Handle is originally an Otis Redding song? What do you mean originally? It fucking is an Otis Redding song. Fuck the Black Crowes.
Right. One of my favorite stories around that is that Johnny Cash covering Nine Inch Nails hurt when Nine Inch Nails plays it live. People being like, oh man, is this that Johnny Cash song? Oh God. It's awesome. Anyways.
This is just another one of those default bands. It's like you find out that you're supposed to like music if anyone's gonna fuck you.
100%.
So you look around, oh shit, what bands are cool? That one.
Yeah.
The one with the tongue shirt.
Yeah.
I will take that one in a size medium, please.
Yeah, it's like when you hit a certain age and you're like, I like rock and roll. It's like people will go, well, then you have to listen to the Rolling Stones. It's just how it is. It's like just default.
For sure.
And some people never break out of that, I guess. Never.
I don't know. And also, if you see someone wearing a vintage Rolling Stones t-shirt, do your best to accidentally spill a drink on them that will stain it, because that will help it look more vintage to them. And I guarantee you they spent like $350 fucking on that shirt.
Well, I feel like it's one of two things. Either it's a true vintage shirt that they did legitimately spend $300 on, or it's just a Urban Outfitters remake. Because, those shirts, they distress those shirts now.
Well, the Rolling Stones
make them look old.
The distressed Rolling Stone shirts are sold in Walmart, I believe.
They're actually sold in Walmart.
I think so, man.
And they're actually distressed.
But that's because this band is the definition of cool, Mark.
Oh, man.
These guys
nothing
invented
says cool.
Walmart.
Like Walmart.
In the background of people of Walmart photos, you very well may see a Rolling Stone t-shirt.
Stone shirts.
That's fucking cool.
Man, it's so cool.
I just cooled my pants. If your favorite band is the Rolling Stones, your favorite band sucks.
Your favorite band sucks.
All right, thanks for listening to the second episode of Your Favorite Band Sucks. Go ahead and share this episode on social media, just start some shit. Who knows what could happen? Me and Mark sure have a lot of fun sitting around talking about this stuff, so maybe you will too after you share a link to the episode and some of your friends get in on it. And there should already be at least a couple more episodes available wherever you listen to this. We did the Beatles first, and I think the episode on all of Christmas music is coming out at the same time as this one. So yeah, go check it out. You can follow the show on Twitter at YFBSPod, and yfbspod.com is the website for the show. Please rate and review the show in iTunes. Apparently that lets people know that we're not just screwing around. We're actually, making an effort to make a good show. We'd like to keep doing this if you'd like to keep listening to it. So let us know if you're having fun with this too.